Hello and welcome to FPL Mate, your best mate for fantasy Premier League content for the 2021-22 season. My name is Dan and today we have got for you a Game Week 30 team selection video where I'm going to be showing you my scores from last week and showing you finally my free hit team that I've come up with, a full free hit team that I've come up with for Game Week 30. It's going to be interesting for sure. I've not really got many players for Game Week 30, so I had decided a few weeks ago that this week I was going to be free hitting. It's going to be hopefully a really good one for me, guys, and I'm going to be showing you the players and my captains as well. So guys, if you do enjoy this video, please do leave a like. If we get this video to 2,000 likes, that would be amazing. We haven't done 2,000 likes in a little while now, so 2,000 likes on this video, absolutely amazing. Please go for it, guys, and of course subscribe if you're new around here as well and you like what you see today, guys. But without further ado, let's have a look at my Game Week 29 scores. So, Game Week 29, I'm going to actually put down as a success. I know technically I've got a red arrow and, you know, a new rank of 762. There are still one more game to be played, Newcastle against Everton. So this could go down a little bit more, but I think it's not going to go down too much more after this, to be honest. But I'm actually going to consider this a real success, guys, because I took a -12 in order to set my team up for Game Week 29 and for future game weeks. Got rid of all of my deadweight players, and still, even though I took that huge hit, the rank has not really dropped that much. And, you know, sometimes you just got to accept that a game week is a survival game week. And for me, not playing any chips and using a -12, you know, so many people use the triple captain and the bench boost around my rank last week. So I knew that it was going to be tough for me to even maintain. So in the top 1k, I need to try and, you know, you've got to be positive about these things. In the top 1k, even surviving a game week is an achievement in itself, because the scores that people are getting up here are just absolutely insane. And, you know, as always, what seems to be the case every single game week is that even though I may sometimes get a small red arrow, I actually am scoring higher than the average score in the top 10k. So essentially, I'm solidifying my place in the top 10k despite actually technically dropping rank. So yeah, absolutely crazy stuff, guys, but I'm still really happy. Big hit taken, no chip used, and still only a really small red arrow. The big hit really paid off. I was up, I believe, 13 points based on the players that I would have played, and including the -12 as well. I'm actually 13 points up there. So it does work out sometimes. If you want to make a really good hit on a double game week or something like that, it really can pay off. And that's exactly what's happened this game week. We're over 2,000 points now. It's all good in the hood. We've got 9 game weeks left. We've got 2 chips left to use. We've got the bench boost chip and we've got the free hit chip left. This game week, it's free hit week for me. Let me show you guys the free hit team that I have come up with currently. So guys, it goes without saying that this team is not final. On tomorrow, Friday, I am going to be doing 2 streams. One in sort of earlier on in the day and another one for the deadline, which I will be finalising my free hit team for that deadline stream. So guys, make sure that you are subscribed with notifications on if you want to check out those streams where I'm kind of finalising my teams in those ones. But let me show you what I've got right now. Can't promise you it's going to stay the same, but it's going to be roughly like this. I think the structure, the bones of it are at least going to be the same. Not spent all my money, a lot of money in the bank. You know, it's really hard to spend all the budget this game week because there's no Man City, there's no Liverpool, you know, there's no Chelsea there. So it's hard to spend all the money, but I've spent quite a lot of it. So let's show you guys what I've got. So let's start off in goal with Sa, or Sa, I think is the correct pronunciation for him. So Sa, 5.3 million goalkeeper. He's playing against Leeds. Now I kind of had the choice who I think would be the better goalkeeper this game week, Sa or Schmeichel. I have actually gone for Sa in the end, just because he plays against Leeds. And when we kind of look at the types of shots that Leeds take versus the type of shots that Brentford take less shots but of higher quality. Leeds take a lot of shots of lesser quality, and when a goalkeeper faces a lot of low quality shots, often that leads to a lot of save points. So that's kind of what we're after here with Sa. We want to get the save points really, and for that reason I think he is the best goalkeeper to have. You know, it really is a case of Wolves and Brentford probably got the 2 best chances of a clean sheet this week. So let's go for this one. I know Leeds are not scoring a lot of goals at the moment. They are missing a lot of chances at the moment. They're not doing so well. Even Rafinha, he's just not looking quite there at the moment. So I think Wolves, with their defensive acumen, they can keep a clean sheet this week. So we are going to go for Sa in goal. We are expecting some save points here as well because of the quantity of poor quality shots that Leeds take as well. I think this is a pretty good shout to go for. Into defence, we're going to go straight in with a spicy one here. We have got Pereira. yeah, guys, you know what I'm like. I like to have a lot of sensible players, but I do like to sprinkle in some spice in there as well, some cheeky differentials, and that's exactly what I'm going to be doing using my free hit team. I mean, why not? It's a good opportunity. It's for one game week only. Let's give it a go. So we are going for Pereira. Well, I'm kind of hoping that he plays. Obviously, Leicester play in the Europa League, Europa Conference League this evening. So we will find out a little bit more about how they are setting up. But I'm kind of thinking of going for Pereira, the right back for Leicester. I do want to cover the Leicester defence to a degree because Brentford at home is a pretty good fixture, to be fair, from a defensive point of view. Brentford, I know, have scored a few goals recently, but Brentford have also had some really easy fixtures recently and a lot of penalties to boot. So let's hope for a clean sheet here. Let's go for a Leicester defender, and if we're looking for a Leicester defender who has a pretty high ceiling, it is Pereira, at least if we look historically. You know, he creates a lot of chances, he takes a lot of shots, far more so than any other of the Leicester defenders. So I'm really hoping for some good stuff from him. I think he's going to be a really good differential, and if he does start, if he does play, you know, well, I mean, we're hoping for 60 plus minutes from him, right? Then he could be a real player to watch in this like game week. Like, honestly, even if he doesn't score, even if he doesn't get an assist, he's going to be creating chances and taking shots, which could help boost his bonus points as well. So yeah, if I'm going to go for a Leicester player, well, it's difficult. If I'm going to go for a Leicester defender, I either choose a boring one or we kind of try and choose a bit of a more interesting one. And on a free hit, you're not stuck with the player or anything, so why not go for something a bit more interesting? But I would be lying to you guys if I said Pereira was nailed on. I can't guarantee that he's going to be in my team come deadline. It depends how brave I'm feeling, really. We've got Doherty as our next defender, just to kind of try and cover that Spurs defence. This West Ham game might have a few absentees from West Ham. Again, we're going to wait till tonight to find out a little bit more about West Ham's current situation, but certainly they're going to be without Bowen, I would imagine, for this game, and that's just huge in itself. If they're without Antonio as well, then that's going to be real problems for Spurs, to be honest. So, problems for West Ham. It's going to be good for Spurs because there's not really too much other attacking threat there in that team. Well, or certainly less attacking threat than normal. So, will Spurs be able to keep a clean sheet? They have got a reasonably good record in terms of keeping clean sheets, but it seems to be one way or the other. They either concede a load of goals or they keep a clean sheet. There's no in between, really, is there, with Spurs at the moment? They just blow so hot and cold. So I'm hoping that this game week is going to be one where they blow hot. Is that the good one? Is blowing hot the good one? Is blowing cold the good one? I don't know. But yeah, I'm hoping that Doherty can keep a clean sheet here. It's nice to have that Spurs defence covered as well, because I know a lot of people are going to have Spurs defenders in this game week 30. We're going to finish off the defence with Cody. We're going to double up on the Wolves defence, just because I think they're one of the better defences playing this game week and actually also have one of their easier fixtures as well. Cody's the one I'm going for just because I know he's really nailed on. There is always a possibility that that Kilman or Size could be maybe rotated for a Willy Bolly, for example, and also the fact that Cody is actually, you know, becoming a little bit of an aerial threat. You know, we used to think about a kind of Sice as the guy who takes the most shots out of the Wolves defenders. Actually, recently it's been Cody kind of taken over as the target man from those set pieces. So let's see what can happen there. I'm not expecting a goal, but you know, if you're in it, you could win it. You've got to buy that ticket to win the raffle, don't you? So that's exactly what we're going to be doing with Cody. So yeah, we've got that Wolves defence covered times 2, and I like these guys on a free hit as well, because I wouldn't really want Wolves players long term, because I'm thinking Wolves very good chance of actually blanking in game week 33. I wouldn't want these players permanently. So the advantage here is I can load up on some Wolves players just for one game week only and not have to worry about them blanking going forward. They're in this team for one game week only and then they're gone. So yeah, nice to have a couple of Wolves players there. Maybe we'll even have one more by the end of the video. We've got in midfield Son. Kind of disappointing recently, to be honest, but he is Son. I'm tempted to just downgrade him to Kulusevski, to be honest, and go for Kulusevski instead, because Kulusevski has been playing better. But I have to say, the magic of Son is still, you know, is still deeply entrenched in my mind. We know what he can do. We know what he's capable of in any given game week. So it's really difficult for me to omit Son from a team where we've got so much budget to play around with anyway. Money is not an issue. If it was, then we would be going for Kulusevski probably, wouldn't we? But money is not an issue this game week, so we can go for Son and kind of hope that he does get that magic, that spark back and actually get some goal returns. I mean, technically he could have even had a maybe even had an assist if the pass to Kulusevski's shot didn't bounce off Romero, was it? If the shot didn't bounce off Romero before it hit the back of the net, then that would have been a Son assist, and maybe we will be feeling a little bit more optimistic about Son, but I'd be lying if I was to tell you that he's been playing at the top of his game, but who's to say that can't change in an absolute instant? We know about the quality of the player, so I'm going to keep him in for now, certainly. We've got Saka next. I think he's going to be the main Arsenal player to go for. I want to cover the main, I do think I want to cover the main Game Week 30 assets, because I know a lot of people are not going to be free hitting this game week, so I want to make sure I've got the popular players covered, as well as as going for some differentials. So Saka is very much a covering type player. It's not that I wouldn't have him in anyway, but there are, you know, I would be more tempted to take a few more risks with like Martinelli or someone like that instead, if I wasn't so worried about the effective ownership of Saka, which at my rank is super high. It's like 85-90%. It's probably going to be even higher in Game Week 30. Probably going to be like 95% owned in the top 1k, which is just, you know, it's really ridiculous. But there we are. So we're going to cover Saka away game against Aston Villa. I do think Arsenal will go there and score a couple of goals there, to be honest. So you would expect that Saka would be one of those players potentially involved. We've got Barnes next as our next Leicester player. We've only got 2 Leicester players. Barnes is the other one. This one I am really, really confident in. Aside from, you know, the Spurs guys, the big Spurs guys, Barnes is a player that I'm really having a key look at. I think he's going to be really good in this game week. His underlying stats are incredible recently. You know, he's outperforming Maddison at the moment. When you watch him play, he looks really good getting in those attacking areas, and he's going to be coming off the wing against Brentford in a weaker area of Brentford's pitch and attacking that area. He's going to be making passes across the goal. He's going to be shooting, you know, cutting inside, shooting with his right foot from the left hand side, and I think that's going to be really nice. He's differential as well. We will see a lot of people going for Maddison ahead of Barnes, and I truly believe in my heart of hearts that Barnes is the better FPL option. I don't know how that will pay off in the course of one game week, but certainly over a longer period I would expect that. You know, this Brentford game looks good for him, really good for Barnes, so I'm really, really hoping that he could be a real key differential for me this game week. Fingers crossed, I'm feeling pretty confident about that one. We've got Podence against Leeds, so that is our 3rd Wolves player. I know you guys probably expected me to go for Jimenez, but actually, you know, if I'm going to go for one Wolves attacker, and against Leeds at home, you know, you've got to go for an attacking player, don't you, really? So we have gone for Podence, and I just feel like Podence is the biggest attacking threat in Wolves' side recently. He's looking really good at the moment, really, really nice. You know, he's got better XG, better XA than pretty much any other player at Wolves at the moment, you know, per game. So, yeah, even though he's really cheap, even though he's really differential, if anything, that makes me want him more. I want to have those differentials. I want to have those players that not a lot of people are thinking about. They're kind of worried about going for because they are a little bit different. But when you watch Podence play, when you look at his stats as well, he's looking like the biggest attacking threat in that Wolves side. So if anyone is scoring against Leeds, I really hope it's going to be Podence. I really do. That's kind of what I'm expecting anyway. And you can only make judgments based on what you expect to happen. We can't see the future, unfortunately. And we're going to finish off the midfield, a 5-man midfield with Martinelli. So I did mention earlier that I quite like the look of Martinelli at the moment, and he is looking really good, actually, really good. And the fact that Saka was actually subbed off before Martinelli against Liverpool, I thought that was a pretty good sign that Martinelli is potentially the player who is here to say, or Odegaard subbed off before Martinelli as well. So, yeah, maybe Martinelli is becoming a key player. We saw how well he played against Liverpool. He's looking really, really good, really nice and technical at the moment. You know, he's also taking shots on, and he's trying to create stuff as well, which is nice to see. He's actually kind of in many ways looks a little bit more sharp, a little bit more you know, when you kind of watched him versus Saka, for example, you know, Martinelli has actually kind of looked like the more likely player to get on the score sheet, and he has got on the score sheet. Well, he got an assist, didn't he, in Game Week 29? So yeah, we kind of did see some good stuff there. So yeah, I like him a lot. I like Martinelli a lot. I like him as a player, and I feel like he's a nice differential to go for when potentially a few people are worried about Martinelli in the long run. Maybe he's going to be rotated with Smith Rowe on an individual game week, and this is what you're going to kind of do on a free hit. Take risks that you wouldn't normally take, that you wouldn't normally be happy to take long term, because this is not long term. We can go for someone like Martinelli, and you know, he's quite a direct attacking player, so I think he's going to be pretty good, and I'm really hoping that he can do something, particularly on the counter attack against Aston Villa. I think that could be quite nice. Him, you know, down the left hand left-hand side. Matty Cash is pushing up really far forward. Martinelli potentially able to be released on that left-hand side of the Arsenal attack and cut inside and score a goal. That's kind of what I'm thinking, but who knows what's actually going to happen. Up front, we've got Harry Kane. There's a surprise. You know, if I'm going to get any player in my team, it's going to be Harry Kane, right? First name on the team sheet. If you are on a free hit this week, it's got to be done. You know, he's just been in fantastic form recently. He's actually, you know, I've not got him in my main team, so Kane has actually been a real pain in my bum recently, and I've just been thinking, you know, I got to try and get him in somehow. Is it worth taking out Son to go for Kane? Haven't really found the right moment to make that move, but on a free hit, I can do whatever I want. So we're going to definitely have Kane in addition to Son, so we can just have both of them, have them both covered just like that. So yeah, the form that Kane is having right now is just incredible. You know, even if he doesn't have the form, you know, maybe he'll get a penalty or something like that, but it seems to be the same every season. Kane at the end of the season, he just loves scoring goals, doesn't he? He always has that late push for the golden boot. I don't know if he's going to be able to take it off Salah at this point, but you know, if we know Kane, he is definitely going to try for it, isn't he? So yeah, incredible form. He's back to his best. He really is. He's an absolute FPL points machine at the moment. I've been really suffering not having him in my team for the past few weeks. Finally, let's just get him in for the free hit team in game week 30. Let's see what he can do. And we're going to finish off the attack with Lacazette, a player who I'm really liking the look of at the moment as well. If you look at his positioning, if you look at how much he is creating for his teammates, then I really like it. Fair enough, he is not taking perhaps as many shots as we would hope. He's taken a decent amount of shots, but he's not taking as many shots in dangerous areas that we perhaps hope for, aside from penalties, which he also has, which is always nice. A nice little bonus there. But, you know, you can see that he's in the right areas and also taking shots from range. So it's like one of these chances, one of these cutbacks, cut acrosses that Arsenal seem to keep doing. Eventually, they are going to find Lacazette. They keep looking like they nearly find Lacazette. So, you know, I think that's real positive signs and signs that don't necessarily show up on the underlying stats. And underlying stats, by the way, still looking pretty good for Lacazette. He's still looking just a slightly above Saka in the likeliness to score. Penalties obviously help that. But in terms of who's the most likely to score for Arsenal, Lacazette's actually kind of leading the charts at the moment, which is really nice to see. But yeah, like I say, penalties do have an impact on that, and we do have to remember that. But you never know when you're going to get a penalty. We could get another one against Aston Villa. Who knows? Could happen. Guys, let's go to the bench. We have got Schmeichel, a player who I did mention is my second favourite. My second favourite goalkeeper, so he is the one we're going to be going for. You know, just in case Sad doesn't play for whatever reason. You know, another huge advantage of the free hit, by the way, guys, is that, you know, I've not just got 11 players, but if one of my 11 players gets rotated, and believe me, guys, there's been a lot of rotation in the Premier League recently. If one player doesn't play for whatever reason, I can actually cover it with a fairly decent bench here, which is exactly what we've got. So Schmeichel, you know, probably not going to be needed, but nice to have as a backup. We've got Tony, who I think is a pretty nice backup as well. He's kind of one of my favourite players to actually go for this game week, but I think I just slightly prefer the other players on show today. I think I'd rather steer into the Leicester defence. You know, Leicester getting a clean sheet than the Brentford attack. But Tony, I think, is a pretty decent option. You know, potentially if he does get a penalty, for example, he's going to be points galore. But we've got Kane and Lacazette as our penalty takers already. Do we really need to be greedy enough to have enough one? I don't know. Maybe. We have got Matty Cash. I don't think he's going to get a huge amount of points, but I'm actually kind of struggling to pick defenders this game week, to be honest. And I've got the three defenders I've got on the pitch at the moment. It's really difficult to find someone who I think will do quite well. So I just picked a kind of one who has scored quite well recently and is, you know, money is no issue, so let's just go for like a 5.2 million defender. But if I'm completely honest, I don't think Cash is going to be able to keep a clean sheet. You would really be hoping for an attacking return there from Cash, which again, I'm not super confident in against Arsenal, but let's see. And finally, I've just not randomly, I put Jansen in there because he's, you know, really tall and a good threat from set pieces potentially. Leicester obviously, you know, concede a few chances from set pieces, don't they? And Pontus Jansson is the player, you know, who is potentially going to be heading those goals in. Maybe, I don't know. That was my kind of thinking there for that defensive pick, but it really is kind of hard to decide for sure which players you want. But I think that bench there, all of those players, I would not be too uncomfortable if they did come on as substitutes, to be honest, which is exactly what we want to do with this free hit. You know, cover our first 11, because you never know, we could get some serious rotation. You never know. So yeah, that's a huge advantage to the free hit that I'm pretty happy with. So guys, let's throw on some captaincy armbands. I'm not going to mess about with this one because you guys already know who I'm going to captain. It's super obvious who the best captain choice for Game Week 30 is, and it is Harry Kane. So we're going to captain Harry Kane. No doubts about that, really. So obvious. We'll stick the vice captain on Harvey Barnes, because out of the other players, I am pretty confident in Barnes as well. He's a player that I've got a very close eye on in this game week. And there we go, guys. That is, as things currently stand, my free hit team. It looks pretty good, I think. Pretty good. Certainly better than the 6 players and no Kane that I had before playing the free hit. There might be final changes to this. I'm not 100% sure. There are a few players that I'm kind of umming and erring about. The main 2 players that I'm not 100% on are Pereira and Martinelli. And I'm also kind of thinking, in a way, do I actually want to have Kulusevski instead of Doherty maybe? Or do I maybe want to go for an Arsenal defender, just because Arsenal defensive ownership is going to be pretty high, and maybe I just want to cover the Arsenal defence just in case they do keep a clean sheet against Aston Villa. I'm not super expecting Arsenal to keep a clean sheet against Aston Villa. I do think Aston Villa will score in that game, but I know a lot of people are going to have Ramsdale. A lot of people are going to have players like Ben White, Kieran Tierney, and players like that. Do I want to cover it? Maybe I do. But we'll see. Guys, I want you to tell me, is there any player that you think is missing from this starting 11? Even if, you know, it's like Tony on my bench, for example. Do you think Tony is an absolute must-play? Do you think any other players that are not even in this squad are absolute must-haves? You know, Maddison, for example. I've included Barnes and no Maddison. Do you think I'm making a big mistake there? Let me know, guys. Kulusevski, let me know. What do you think? Who is missing from this free hit team? I'll be super interested to hear some of your responses and your reasonings as well. And that is the end of the video. Guys, don't forget, we're going for 2,000 likes on this video. I really hope we can do it. Like I said, it's been a while since we hit 2K likes on a video, and I think we can do it again for this free hit team. You know, it's a big week. Free hits are always a big week. Anytime you use a chip is a big week. So let's go for that, guys. Yeah, that would be really appreciated. Subscribe if you are interested in the 2 streams that I'll be doing on Friday, because hopefully we're going to be able to answer a lot of your guys' questions, talk strategy a little bit, talk free hits, talk not free hits, talk taking hits, talk how many players you kind of need to succeed in Game Week 30. We're going to talk about all of that stuff, guys. Don't you worry about that. Maybe some team news, team and injury news as well, whilst we're at it. But there we go. Thank you so much for watching this week's content. There's loads more on the channel. If you want to check out some other Game Week 30 videos, they are all there for you. Just go check them out. That is pretty much it from me today. I will see you on tomorrow's streams, and I'll see you later, mates. Bye-bye.